What's going on? Blake, you were gone. You left it.
I was
You left.
gone.
You
Oh,
left.
man. I was like ready this whole time, and then I left.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
what's
here
up,
now.
man? Dude,
I thought I
what's
was supposed
going on?
to come in from the side when there was the fog machine you talked about. So
Oh, dude, the fog machine. You wanna do the fog machine now?
I totally blew it.
Dude, let's do the fog machine
I was waiting
right
for the
now.
fog machine.
Bring
Okay.
the fog machine right here.
Okay, wait.
Boom.
I'll step to the side.
Okay. Fog machine.
There.
Oh man.
There's only 10 times you get to make a first impression.
Yeah, dude, that's totally true. So, first of all, what's going on, Blake Flyshacker? How are you today?
I'm awesome. I always love conversations with you, whether they be interviews like these, phone calls, just wacky GIF images or GIFs, depending on what continent you're on. So this is
that a
blast. Thanks for
continent
having
thing?
me.
Is
I
that
believe
a continent?
I believe it's geographical, kind of like currency.
So I just think about this. What does GIF stand for?
Guiding, inspiration, and friendship.
I think that's it. No,
Guiding inspirational friendships, because when you send someone a GIF, you know you're on that next level.
So that must be it. No, GIF actually stands for. This is what everyone came for. They absolutely came for this. It stands for graphics interchange format. I believe so. But the first word is graphics. So since the first word is graphics, I think it's GIF and not GIF. That's my hot take.
You're ready for your next in-person mix and mingle. That's your fun fact.
Yeah. Okay, well let's get started with this.
Maybe it should be called a GRIF based on the graphics terminology.
Well, graphics, it should be GRIF, like McGriff the dog.
Yo, Jake, I'm gonna send you a GRIF.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. But I want to say hello to everyone who's watching in the Speakers, Authors, and Coaches Network. Glad to see you here. We have this snazzy new StreamYard overlay, which I'm very excited about. Blake and I have been playing with it for the last little bit. And anyway, Blake, I just wanted to say, can you start off by introducing yourself a little bit? Just tell us a little bit about who you are. I'm not a big fan of reading formal bios. I would much rather say, hey, tell us about yourself.
Makes sense. I agree. So what I thought I might do is I might just read my formal bio off my phone. No, I don't. Actually, I guess I could. I've never done that before. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, for sure.
Here, watch this. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Countdown in 10. I got to actually bring it up now. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, check this out. So who am I? Well, this is just off the top of my mind. I believe that unexpected appreciation is rocket fuel to create unforgettable relationships in business and life. This is also off the top of my head. I'm a husband, dad, entrepreneur, and 8-time TEDx speaker. Whoa.
Without ever applying.
Exactly. Never even seen an application. Couldn't tell you one if I saw it across my face. My innovative sales approaches and relationship building methods have gotten me hired to deliver keynote speeches on over 1,000 in-person stages and invited to work with companies such as LinkedIn, Microsoft, and Lululemon. I'm also the producer of the 55-year event series for entrepreneurs called Thank You Live. It's basically the annual gratitude experience where you get to look back on your year, celebrate your progress, and appreciate your people, like Jake Ballentine. And we send messages like by the thousands at the event. I'm currently completing a personal project called Reach 1,000 Lives, where I share business building strategies by filming one Facebook Live every day, and I just cleared day 802. So starting to break a sweat. I lose every staring contest I engage in with my son, and I still have a beautiful crush on my gorgeous bride, Emily. That's just an intro I made up on the spot. Thanks
That's
for
great,
having me.
man. Dude, that's awesome.
I've
And
never
you're
done that.
also Canadian, which is cool. And
Yep.
it's true.
We pronounced
Canadians
it
are very
just.
nice. They're very polite and very kind because you are polite and kind.
Thank you very much for having me. Perhaps that sentence I just said was predictable.
Well, okay, let's jump right into this because I think that doing a TED talk, doing a TEDx talk is something that a lot of speakers aspire to. A lot of authors, coaches, anyone who really wants to be seen as an authority aspires to doing that. There's all sorts of courses about how to get those TED Talks, what to do to get those TED Talks. But as it says right here on the screen, you've delivered 8 TEDx talks without ever applying. So tell us that story. Tell us what you did and how people can replicate that.
Awesome. Well, high level disclaimer and public service announcement. In the world of speaking, as members of this amazing community know, there are so many rules. There's rules when you apply to events. There's rules when you want to be deciding on fee structure and business models and all that. And every rule since the beginning of time is made up. So I always love finding the rules and not breaking them, but just innovatively bending them.
Yes.
To create opportunities.
Yes.
For my clients, myself, colleagues. So that's the disclaimer, is how can you find the rules and then innovatively bend them to create opportunities for you as a speaker, an author, a coach, a human, etc. So that's the disclaimer. Getting on 8 TEDx stages, having never applied or even looked at an application. How'd that even happen?
For sure.
Well, there's like 8 individual stories. I won't get into all of them unless you ask me to, but the very first one came in the following way. Once upon a time, I was actually a team leader on a trip with students building houses in Louisiana on Reading Week. And we were like a team of 20 people. And my role was to, kick off the day, get the team excited, get them organized, and then at the end of the day, do a debrief, lead a reflection, and then in the evenings, to keep people engaged and out of trouble, run events and lead experiences. And so usually, because like you, I'm a musician, we'd usually just sit around, play songs, play games, tell stories, and it was a pretty straightforward, cool, week-long experience back in the day. Everyone viewed me as the team leader because I was walking around with a binder that said team leader.
That usually does it.
That gives it away.
Yeah.
But I kept up with those people by simply just, seeing what they were up to on social media. I'd send them occasional emails. And this is a thing in business that I share with anyone that I work with. It's just, how can you create 100 touch points a year with someone and never talk about your business? How can you create 100 touch points a year with someone and never talk about your business? Jake, if you and I were to track our conversations, we've probably cleared the 100 mark a few years in a row, just with
for sure
goofy banter. And we talk a lot about business, but we also talk not about business a lot of the time.
For sure.
So I kept up with these people.
Real quick, people like doing business with people, not robots. And for me, like, I'm all about fun. I want to have fun. I like having fun, and I like being with people who have fun. And if all someone wants to talk about is business, I don't actually want to do business with them. Yeah. Because I go, this isn't going to be fun, and it needs to be fun.
Yeah. I found that it was such an easy thing to do to keep up with those people from that trip, because the trip was so fun, because there were so many meaningful moments and memories made. And then we could just kind of pick up where we left off, even years down the road. I could just have a memory and then message one of them if that memory came to my mind. So as an example, we bought this little $2 toy from a pet shop on that trip because it was Louisiana. We nicknamed our team Louie. Like, yeah, Team Louie. So we bought this little $2 toy. It was a little bird. We named him Louie. And then each day, one person on the team had to carry Louie around the build site. So literally anytime I go in a pet shop now, it's a prompt for me to think, oh my gosh, that was such an epic time years ago. And I might just send a text or a voice note or a video or a picture of like a chew toy in a pet shop to one of those team members. So anyway, why am I talking about chew toys and how does it get me booked on TEDx stages more times than most people on the planet? I'll tell you. I got a call from one of those people on that team asking me for advice because they wanted to put together a TEDx event and they didn't really know where to start. And they knew that I was a good communicator and speaker because they had me as a team leader years prior. On that call, they were like, wait a minute. Could you be our first speaker? And I was like, I'd love to be. I should probably apply. And they're like, well, I mean, we're kind of using you as an advisor as well. So don't worry about the application. Would you like to be our first speaker? I said, absolutely. And that was TEDx 1. So I was brought on simply by relationship, by rapport, by the way in which I was showing up in the world. And if I had not kept in touch with these people many times a year, not saying anything for business, nothing for work, not trying to get anything, just like, hey, Jake, thought of you, messaging you, thought of you, messaging you, thought of you, messaging you, then they were thinking of me. So if people are trying to be top of mind in business, to get booked as a speaker or to get more clients as a coach, instead of just marketing barfing, how can you just
That's a great word. I just want to say what a great statement that was. Marketing barfing. Can you define marketing barfing?
It's when you feel like you're physically heaving out your marketing.
It's not a specific definition. You can feel it when you're being that guy.
Yes. And sometimes that is useful. Not marketing barfing, but like direct, clear, bold marketing messages. Like, absolutely, that's needed. It's useful. It's helpful. People appreciate when it's clearly articulated. Hey, here's the thing you want in.
Yeah.
Though, because I was top of mind with that person, it led to that first TEDx booking. So again, I can go for 7 more stories, which might not be relevant, but day 1, talk 1 was literally being top of mind more than anyone else in creative, cool, thoughtful, meaningful, sincere ways that most people don't think of doing, either because they forget, they can't see the path to money, or they're like, it's weird.
Yes. So, okay, so that's really interesting. You're talking about they don't see the path to money. And I think that that's where a lot of people go. They go, I don't see the path to money. Me just talking about things, me just hanging out, me just having fun. I don't see that path to money. Can you go a little deeper on how these not talking about your business touch points are bringing you business? Give us, maybe a story, maybe an example about how that is applied, how that has happened in your business where the not talking about business turned into money.
I have a story, but it's only relevant if people want to know how to find an accidental $16,000.
I think everyone would love an accidental $16,000.
Okay, cool. Here's the story. On one of those TEDx talks that I was giving, it was in Niagara Falls, not far from where I live. I was driving home from that event, and on the side of the road, I saw a sign that said Overholt Vineyard. And I was just driving on the highway, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have a friend with the last name Overholt. So I'm naturally thinking of my buddy who I just call him Overholt. And I'm driving another 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour down the highway towards home. I was like speaking all day, and I was excited to get home. But I was still thinking of my buddy Overholt. And I wished I had taken a photo of that sign because it was a cool sign. So anyway, I did what most people wouldn't do. I pull over, do a U-turn, and I drive 40 minutes back to the vineyard. And I get out of my car. I don't even get out of the car. I roll down the window, zoom in on my iPhone. I take a picture of the sign that says Overholt Vineyard. While I'm parked safely at the side of the road, I open an email to Overholt, and I message him, hey, dude, just saw this picture, thought of you, hope you're great, Blake. And I included the photo of the Overholt Vineyard sign out in a field. Then I drive back home. And this was like an hour and a half detour at this point to get that picture. For context, Overholt, he's a C-suite executive. He's at high level in his career. Everybody wants to get on his calendar. He's been like a big deal in the professional sports world, the Olympics world. And I knew him as a family friend from when I was a kid. And he said to me years ago, I want to come see you give a keynote sometime. Sure, but we could just never line up calendars. So anyway, that email was for no other purpose than the fact that I thought of Overholt. I get home 2 hours later, park the car, open my phone, just because, you do that thing. I see a response from Overholt. He says, love this email. You make me laugh. Hope you're great. Let me know the next time you're speaking. I still want to come see you. Which was hilarious because the next day I was actually giving a keynote at LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, I knew, was downtown in Toronto, and his office was in Toronto. I said, Overholt, this is a long shot. I'm speaking tomorrow at like 2. You're probably booked for 5 years, but tomorrow. He responded. He said, that actually might work. Same with the details. He came to the event. He saw like 20 minutes of the 1-hour keynote that I led for LinkedIn. Then he hopped out. I was like, well, there he goes. We'll see him in 4 years. He emailed me. He's like, hey, that was awesome. Had to run early. I got to introduce you to some people. I get a phone call a few days later from a woman named Allison. She's like, Blake, you don't know me. I know Overholt. Overholt says I'm supposed to just like do what you tell me because I'm in a bit of a bind. I need a speaker. We just had someone bail on a team retreat. So Overholt says I should just hire you. Like, oh, and this was summer. I don't know about you, Jake, but in the speaker space, summer is usually pretty quiet.
Especially in youth and college, where both of us have spent so much time in that world. Sometimes I tell other youth speakers when they go, what should I do in the summer? I'm like, most productive thing you can do is go on vacation, go and have some fun.
Right. Exactly. And then even in the corporate space, I mean, there may be some things, but everyone sort of like softens a little and says, yeah, we'll do it in the fall.
Fall and spring are the big times for keynote speaking world.
Yeah. So my guard is down. I'm like, it's summer. I'm not really going to be speaking much. And my wedding was about 3 weeks after that. So I was focused on the wedding. And I don't know about you, but weddings, like, they're more than $100 usually. Pretty big price tag.
For sure.
So anyway, this woman, Allison, says, yep, you're booked. Worked it all out. Turned into about a $16,000 speaking opportunity. I was delivering the next week because they were in a bind. So I'm at my wedding a few weeks later, and just a unexpected $16,000 was now in the account. And I don't know about people tune into this live or later, but when you find just a surprise $16,000 at the time you're getting married, that's just super helpful. It's very helpful. And all this came back to one thing, Jake and friends. I saw an opportunity when I thought of someone, because we can now send someone messages instantly. I looped them into that moment, sent them that message, asked for nothing. It opened up more doors because we had rapport and I was top of mind with that guy for years. And voila, a few extra thousands of dollars. But none of that is traditional get booked methodology.
Right. And so I do have some questions here that I think will be important, because I'm guessing you're not just doing this with everyone. There's got to be some strategy behind it. There's got to be a strategy with who you are doing this with. And so let's start there. I wrote down 4 or 5 questions to go deeper into this, because I love this. I love this concept. I think that this outside the box marketing, which really isn't just marketing, it's relationship building. It's something that it obviously works. I have not had nearly as much experience with it as you have, but I can tell you that when I have done things like this, it always works. It just always works. And it's incredible how it always works. But I would like to know your thoughts on, you're talking about 100 touch points a year. Obviously, you have some kind of strategy behind who, because if I'm just going to do 100 touch points a year with every single person I know, I'm not going to have much time for anything else. So how do you make those decisions on who you are going to be focusing on?
I love this question. And my response is unconventional, but simple.
Of course it is.
I don't have a CRM system. So It's not exactly a technical approach, because anytime I try and use CRM systems, I get in my head. I'm like, okay, I need to make a formula for Jake Ballentine. I get in my head. So this 100 touch points a year idea, it's simple. There's always, let's say, 20 to 100 relationships that will alter our universe when we actually make that relationship. And usually, off the top of your head who 10 to 20 of them are at any given time. For you, Jake, once upon a time, I imagine it was Josh, it was Jack, it was, people like that. Just like, that'd be really cool to be in their ecosystem and be with them, do work with them. So let's say, for anyone tuned into this live or later, you got these 10 relationships that you're not yet in, but you know that once you're at that level of, we've got a sealed relationship, we've got a friendship, we've got this connection made, opportunities can spark from it. So those 10 to 20 people, I literally get Post-it notes, pretty simple. I'll put them on a wall of just the names of, these are sort of the 10 or 20 people that are really on my radar right now, if you will. And all that does is it just keeps them top of mind. And then what it also does is then I can book into my calendar. This is super unscalable, super basic, but it only leads to really cool stories and more money. So follow along. And once or twice a week, I'll just sort of set aside maybe 30 minutes and I'll look at those Post-its and I'll just send that person something. So as an example, Josh, mutual friend and mentor and colleague of ours. Back in the day, before that guy was one of my best pals and agent, I knew that he was obsessed with Jamie Oliver, the celebrity chef. So if on my calendar, I just had 20, 30 minutes to connect with those people that someday I will be working with, I might have hopped on his Facebook or his Instagram or YouTube, just be in their world for 2 minutes, see kind of what they're up to, what they're sharing, get some ideas from that. And it might be something as simple as a screenshot of that video and an email to Josh saying, dude, watching this right now, loved the sentence about the roller coaster analogy. I'm going to share that with my brother. He has kids of his own. Stay great, Blake. Done. That took me 10 seconds, but it was a lot of manual, mindful work. And then on a bigger level, there was a day where Jamie Oliver, the celebrity chef, this was 9 years ago now, he came to my city, Toronto, to speak. I had no interest in seeing the guy speak, but I had a lot of interest in just paying attention to Josh. He was a mentor of mine, still is. So when Jamie came to town, I'm like, I'm going to go see this guy do his thing because he's taught a lot to my mentors. So that trickles down to me. So I go to his event. I line up at the end. I get in line, buy a book, get Jamie to sign it. I have Jamie write a note to Josh, not me. And then I just mail the book to Josh. And so some of these things, they actually take time, effort, and money. Most of these things are fast and free. And the key is that it has to be unexpected. Because when it's expected, 1, it feels forced. 2, you don't stand out ever. One of the easiest ways to be thoughtful and not stand out is to just send birthday messages. Because people get hammered with birthday messages.
Yeah.
If you send a half birthday message 6 months after that person's birthday, you're the only person hitting their inbox and they're never going to forget it, even if it's a simple little video. So how do you keep those 10 to 20 key relationships in front of your face and manually just create touch points? Plus, here's the hack. If I send you one message, Jake, we then might go back and forth 15 times in the next hour. So
yeah,
I just got 15 of my 100.
So you count that when you say 100, it's interactions back and forth, that kind of thing. Totally. So you're not saying, oh, it's it's 52 weeks, so that's almost 2. That's 1.9 or whatever it is touch points per week. So today's Tuesday, so I got to do 1, and then Thursday's another one. This is much more organic. It's about thinking. You said something earlier. You said this is non-scalable. And I want to take a moment to talk about how effective and how scalable, non-scalable things are. Because I think that they have a disproportionate effect on things. They have a disproportionate amount of success that comes from these non-scalable things.
It's a buzzword for sure. Like scale, scalable, scalability.
Yeah.
I never really know what to make of that term and how to sort of integrate it into my business or the people I coach, because again, there's certain methods or terms or words where when I start using them or saying them or trying to incorporate them, I find that I get kind of stuck. I'm like, I'm trying to scale a thing. So here's what I know. It's like this hybrid version of how to scale this activity, because it does create amazing results.
Yeah.
So as an example, one of the masterminds that I lead, all it is for 3 purposes: how to create more repeat, referral, and ridiculous clients in 1 quarter. Because we usually forget to look back on our relationships and return to those people as door openers for our next opportunities. So in a quarter, we create more referrals, repeats, and ridiculous relationships by using this sort of hybrid, scalable outreach method. Meaning, you find your 100 people. Just who's the 100? Great. Now, each week, how can you send anything to just be on their radar and not forced, not fake, like sincere? And so my question that I ask people to ask themselves is, what do you appreciate about this person today? What do you appreciate about this person today? So I don't know, like let's do something right here. Like, is there someone that you want to connect to, or is there someone in this community that maybe we could sort of use as a case study, and we can like make a path that's sort of scalable and it gets them from stranger to someday BFF in the business world? let's make one.
Okay, so you're talking about saying, okay, let's find a specific person and let's build a
let's like create $100,000 business collaboration with someone we don't know in this moment but want to know.
Okay.
Like, let's just make one and I'll do the work. You just got to dream.
Okay, cool. All right. So who do we want to have that connection with? Yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank right now. Help me come up with who we're going to do this with.
Okay, so let's use TEDx. That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Let's do that.
Let's say someone tuned into this live or later. They're like, I want to deliver a TEDx talk.
Yeah, let's do this. And then literally let's do this, because we can do it with me. We can do it with you. Let's actually give the people watching right now a very specific path that they can use using this method to get on a TEDx stage in this year.
Perfect. All right, here we go, folks. Whether it's live or later and you're tuned in.
I like that term. I'm going to start using that. Whether it's live or later. I love that.
So what we're going to do is build a path that is incredibly potent, powerful, and unpredictable. That is why this isn't for the faint of heart, because this might not work. That is my guarantee. I'm gonna move in on this one.
Your guarantee is it might not work.
Might not work. That is my guarantee. So as long as we have the guarantee down. Now, there's also people in this very community who are incredible coaches for TEDx. People that you can like just go to them and they'll hold your hand and they'll like do your homework. They'll fill in your application. They'll be like, say this, do this, done. They're great. Totally. A lot of them are my friends. Jake's too. I believe that if you want to get on a TEDx stage in the next 12 months, you literally take a day, 3 hours, book it in your calendar. In your calendar, write down, find TEDx opportunities. Pull up a chair, make yourself a snack, and just get Googling. Like, see where there are upcoming TEDx events this year. You'll also find in the Googles previous TEDx events. Most people will be like, oh, it passed. The number of bookings I've gotten as a speaker by marketing to dead events is amazing. Like events that I say, hey, when's this upcoming conference? And I get a Google hit from like 5 years ago.
For sure.
I'll just reach out to someone from 5 years ago. And a lot of the times they'll either get, hey, this thing's long gone now, or they'll be like, oh, that's our old website, but we're working on our event now. So thanks for reaching out.
For sure. Because if it's a website that says our event, it's March right now, our event is May of 2022. If that site's live for a live, they got their people. They already got their people.
Exactly.
But if it happened last month, they're probably doing it again.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You've got TEDx opportunities that you've Googled. You'll probably find 10 in 5 minutes. You might find 50 if you really dig in for a few hours. Now, you get out a good old-fashioned spreadsheet and you start piecing together what you know. Now, by the way, this isn't sexy. This isn't glamorous. This is why a lot of people don't do this, because it's like manual work and old school relationship building. So you get out a spreadsheet. It's like, okay, this event, what kind of contact can you find on the website? Anything. Like, even if it's a caterer who partnered with the conference 3 years ago, well, hey, maybe that's someone you can reach out to and create that connection there. So now you've got your TEDx events. You've got some contact information. Maybe some is email, some it's social media, whatever. And now you start, and you don't start pitching yourself. Stop pitching yourself if you want to get booked. Just start creating this presence in these people's mailboxes. So email, if you think of the E for like energy, most people have no energy when they send mail. Yeah. And I don't mean like be bright and excited. I mean, send them a thing that when they open it, they're like, yo, I'm excited I opened this message today. Yeah. Maybe it's like a fun audio, a video. Maybe it's just like a picture, a screenshot. It's like, I'm at Disney World. I know you love Disney. I think of you. I go up to Mickey. I'm like, Mickey, can you like spell the letter Jake with your arms? I'm going to film it. Thanks. I'm going to send it to you. You're never going to forget it.
So, I like how you just said, can you spell the letter Jake? I'm going to be like Prince now. I got a symbol.
Right.
I don't know what the letter Jake is, but I like it.
It's a brand, the letter Jake.
Yeah.
So now you start being present for these people. And it's not just like be annoying, say some stuff. Actually think, 1, what do you appreciate about this person? Or 2, what can you contribute to this person? So as an example, I've literally been booked on TEDx stages because of my relationships with food caterers. What does that even mean? Well, once upon a time, I saw a food caterer that was a sponsor of a TEDx event on a website. I went to the food catering company's website. I saw that they make like vegan, gluten-free treats. I have some dietary limitations, or I like to call them dietary commitments. And so when I see things that are like gluten-free desserts, I get really excited because I can eat those and it's delicious. So I literally sent a video to them of just like, you have no idea who I am. I saw your website. I found it because someone sent me to a TEDx site. Like, I tell them how I got here because it's weird. Like, why am I here?
Yeah.
And then I literally say, like, look, random. I was on your site. You got gluten-free desserts. I love gluten-free desserts. My wife, she makes gluten-free stuff. So maybe I can like send this to her. Or maybe we can come to your place sometime. And I don't know. But instead of thinking this, I thought I would send you this. And that's a great line you can all write down live or later. Instead of thinking this, I thought I would send you this. Because we have all these thoughts and we don't send them. Whereas if you just begin this practice, this habit of a thought and send, a thought and send, this is where so many opportunities come from. I don't even really do lead gen because I just procrastinate, but I'll send like 30 of these kinds of messages that I'm describing to you every day. Like just, oh, that's cool. Voice note. Oh, that's inspiring. Video. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Type. And then you've got your TEDx options. You got some contact info. If you message someone even as simple as a caterer, you might get no response. Oh, well, at least you sent something cool and thoughtful and sincere. It has to be sincere. Don't just force this stuff. But you might get a response of like, this is random, but it's cool. I get messages like, this is random, but I literally played your video for our whole kitchen staff and they loved it because no one thanks these people. So thank you. And then you're connected. Like you're at sort of level 10 because people don't do this stuff. And typically if you have these interactions in your life, it's from someone you're already close to. So It's weird, it's random, but if you jump to the level of appreciation, acknowledgement, gratitude as the first touch point, it blows the doors open. So if you were to go through that TEDx list, here's all that will happen, guaranteed. You will send a lot of kind, thoughtful, innovative messages to brighten people's day. That is a guarantee. The next thing that might happen is you get responses of intrigue and they want to know more about who are you and tell us more about you. What's up, Scott Colby?
So Blake is the man. I've learned a lot from him, which is true. And Scott Colby is the man. But I just learned how to use this thing. So that's cool.
Whoa. So we're about to see a bunch more of that. Scott Colby, you can type whatever you want. We'll probably bring you up on the screen. Hey, Scott Colby, if you're listening to this, type baked goods. Let's just see if it happens. And Jake, if it does, you can then feature it because we're talking about that. So Scott.
So this, I think, is so cool what you're talking about, because you're talking about something. Yes, the title of this session we're doing is about TED Talks, but you and I both know that you're not getting paid for those TED Talks. That's not where you're making a living. You've made a living off of professional speaking, coaching clients, and all of that for over a decade. And so this works for any of that, not just TED Talks. This works for getting on podcasts. This works for getting coaching clients. This works for getting paid speaking engagements. This works for getting those kind of speaking engagements that are going to get you in front of many of your potential coaching clients. And I think that it's so important that we just slow down and think about those leverage opportunities. That's as I refer to them as leverage opportunities, where you go, okay, if I can have 1-to-1 and it brings one lead, that's not leverage. But if I have one, so if all I'm thinking about is my client, ideal client, ICA, if that's it, if I'm just thinking about that, I go from here to there. That's my effort. Let's call it 1 unit of effort equals 1 lead. But if I say that my 1 unit of effort is to one person who has the opportunity to get me in front of many of my potential clients, that's 1 unit of effort that can go to 50 new leads, that can go to 500 new leads, that can go to any of that kind of thing. And I think that it's really important to just think about, like you talked about, figure out who your top 100 are. Russell Brunson calls them your dream 100. Very similar kind of method that he's talking about. If you whether it's 10, whether it's 20, whatever it is, but if you get specific with who are the people. So let's go a little deeper on this TEDx idea. So they've Googled their people. Now they're going to go and do their research. I think what's really important is when they get on that page and they find who's in charge of that TEDx event. Now, I'm pretty sure you'll agree with this, but they could make a decision of sending an email with the contact information saying, I'd love to be on your stage. That's option 1. Option 2 would be, look these people up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, find them, do your research, and find out, hey, this dude loves surfing. I bet I could talk to him about surfing. Or, hey, this guy loves whatever it is, and then I can create something around there. What's your thoughts on that?
All of those things are possibilities. The first one is highly predictable. Like, hey, found you. I want to be on your stage. And it's good. Like, you'll book a lot of stuff just by doing that.
It's a numbers game, so you will
wrong with it.
You will book it, and it's just purely a numbers game. So if you want to do that approach, volume is the name of the game, and you can do it with tons and tons and tons of volume. But I can tell you, it's kind of boring and soul sucking, and you start hating your life.
Right, and I can't do it. Like, I'm lactose intolerant, so I choose this method instead. No,
there's lactose in the volume in the numbers method.
Yeah,
There's lactose in that.
Yeah, Cold Outreach is actually a drink, and I can't. My stomach doesn't.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I didn't know. I mean, I know a lot about that kind of thing, but I didn't know that it was lactose.
So, lactose aside, here's the image to answer that question, Jake. There's 10 speakers, or there's 10 coaches, or there's 10 authors lined up for the same opportunity. The keynote, the summit, the podcast, the media. There's 10 of you in a line. You need to get picked. So how do you stand out from the line? And there's 2 ways to do it. Well, there's like 100, but there's 2 main ways. One, you make yourself unforgettable by just going full ridiculous. You know this, but back in the day, one of my first programs that I delivered like over 500 times to kids in elementary schools was called Acoustic Opera. My buddy and I, we did a 2-man show. I sang, played guitar. He sang opera professionally. We wore tuxedos. The fact that we were 2 dudes in tuxedos, we got the visual attention and the verbal attention instantly. And because we were amazing, we got booked. But being amazing isn't always enough when they don't know you yet.
Yes,
so
of course.
That's like a way to just stand out from the lineup, like look different, do something ridiculous. Like if you walk all around a trade show and you're dressed as a banana and no one else is dressed as a banana, you're going to get into conversations and can probably create some opportunities. Other option, if you don't want to go ridiculous, is you think of what are these other 9 people going to do? Because humans are so predictable. They're going to knock on the door and be like, hey, I'm a speaker. Hey, I'm great. Hey, book me. Here's my like head. Just, they're going to do the predictable stuff.
Yeah.
So list the predictable things that everyone's going to do that frankly, you probably should do too. And then do everything opposite. So I have a killer demo video for youth speaking. Like to this day, people are like, man, your demo video. I'm like, guys, I made that like 8 years ago, but thank you.
But it is great.
Thank you. So I know that they check out my video. Like this is assumed. I know that they're going to see that. It's in my email signature. So therefore, I send just like videos of me doing laundry. Like, hey, Jake, what's up? Currently doing laundry. Not really impressive here. I get it. But saw that you're running a conference. Good luck. You're probably getting a lot of speaker applicants right now, but I just saw that you like announced that you have early bird tickets. Congrats. That was probably a ton of work. Hope you're great. I'm Blake, by the way. If you need intros or connections or whatever, I might know some people. Talk to you soon. Bye. It's just like a message to tell the person, I see what you're up to, and I know your experience because of it. If someone just posts, brand new website, you know, they just finished 100+ hours of work and decisions and time and effort and money. Congratulate that person on their new website and acknowledge the work they put into it. If you see that someone just announced sponsors for their conference and you want to speak at that conference, message them and just be like, hey, I saw your sponsorship page is live. I actually am not a sponsor. I don't really know any sponsors, but I once like ran an event and the sponsorship committee worked their tail off. So you probably like give yourself a 5-minute break. Here's a YouTube link to a 5-minute meditation. I realize you don't even know who I am yet, but congrats on the new sponsorship page. Like empathize and crash people's worlds by being so human, and then let your work speak for itself. Because I used to work with people who wanted to get into speaking and just like get them from 0 to speaker. I still do. But now I love working with people where the disclaimer is, you know, you're good and great at speaking and coaching and like you're great at your work, but it's just crowded. So how can you, being great, how can we laser your path to that opportunity and just bust through the crowd in a really cool, fun, energizing way?
Yes. Like, and I think that that's so important because anyone who is doing something that you want to be a part of, they are getting lots of people reaching out to them, asking things of them.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm even that big of a fish Yeah, but we got over 12,000 people in this group, and that brings a lot of people who go, oh, I want a piece of that in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And I get people every day sending me messages, just asking things that will help them and have zero help to me, of zero help. And it's not that I'm trying to be
Thank
rude.
you for helping me move, by the way, that time. I appreciate that.
And it's not that I'm trying to be rude. Well, but even that's a different point. If a friend reaches out to me to ask something of me, that's fine.
Right.
But I'm talking about strangers. I don't know these people, and they're acting like I owe them something, or I should be so grateful for what they are asking me to do for them.
Yeah.
And the thing is it's not that I'm trying to be rude. It's just that I don't have the time to even reply to all of them. And when I see a first message is just straight up an ask, I just go, I can't do it. I don't have time for it. I need to focus on my clients. I need to focus on the people I'm building relationships with, doing all that kind of thing. And it's very rare that someone reaches out with a give, with a congratulations, with something like that. And when they do, those people get a response. Those people are the people that I'm actually going to have that relationship with. I'm going to further that connection. I'm going to do that kind of thing. And I just think it's so easy to see how ineffective this one is and how effective this one is over here. Just from a let's go meta and go, how did this interview even happen? Now, look, Blake, if you reached out to me anytime and said, hey, can you interview me for this? I'd be like, yeah, absolutely. We've been close for a long time. But I'm putting on this summit. You reach out to me. The summit's going on next week now. I'm putting on that summit. And you reach out to me and just said, hey, congratulations. This looks awesome. If you need any help in any way, shape, or form, let me know. I would love to do it. If you need a speaker, great. If you don't, no problem. But I'm here to help you. And I felt that in a sincere way that you were actually there to help me. And I went, hey, well, turns out I really don't have another spot. We had over 300 people applying. I'm like, you know what? Let's do an interview. I'm doing this new thing where every Tuesday I'm doing these live interviews. Blake, why don't you come on and we talk about that? And so not like this is some huge thing, but just even thinking about something like this. This is a live interview. If someone wants to do podcast interviews, someone wants to do that. You didn't ask me to do this. You just reached out to say, congratulations. That looks like something you've done a lot of stuff for.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of work for. Congratulations.
Yeah. And we can spot it, right? Like you can see when someone has put so much work into a thing. So tell them that you see that and acknowledge them for that and say nothing else if you don't want to, or say a thing if you want to, but no one starts with, I see you, I acknowledge you. You don't even really know me yet, but this is what I know about you. Have a great day. But when you start there, you might not even get a response, but when you do, it starts at a whole different level. So I know we're coming in for a landing. I can hammer like 2 minutes of just how to get TEDx, how to get TEDx, how to get TEDx, so that we make sure we like check that box if you want, or you just guide us to the landing pad.
Well, sure. Yeah. And I know you got a call at the top of the hour. I said 35 to 40 minutes. We're past that now. In all honesty, all that information is out there. The thing that matters the most is what you said earlier. Go and find those people and build relationships with them instead of, what was the word that you used? Marketing
barfing.
Marketing barfing. So instead of marketing barfing, go and find those people, and whether it's a TEDx talk, whether it's people you want to speak to their audience, whether it's podcast hosts, whatever it is, go and find those people and then use this surprise and delight way of building relationships. So before we end, last pieces of advice, last words of wisdom for the Speakers, Authors, and Coaches Network from the one and only Blake Fly.
When you're a great speaker and you get on a stage, you know it leads to opportunities. That's like easy. You don't ever have to market sometimes if you're doing the in-person game. If you're in the online space, it's always crowded. So sales and marketing is essential, but do it in a way that is yours. And here's something I love to remind myself and my clients of. Marketing is different from sales. And marketing is moments. That's all it is. Marketing is just moments. It's just to be top of mind. It's to be in people's space. It's just so that your name is out there. You're being thought of. Marketing is moment making, nothing else. Sales is decision making. And so sometimes people try and like smash them together, but they're two totally different sports. Because one is to make a moment so people feel something, they receive something like, oh, cool. Wow, Jake, Jake's great. Sales is, are you a no or are you a yes? Both answers are perfect. Just wanting to get to a clear decision. So how can you do marketing and sales that is rooted in this like thoughtful, cool, unexpected, innovative way where if you see an opportunity, you need to go from you to opportunity, and that path has to be done in a way that no one else ever will. And usually that can be as simple as a voice note or a meme or like a little thank you card. It doesn't have to be sending them dolphins and unicorns in a FedEx box. So I realize that's an inhumane example, but the whole message of this
well, we're assuming these were toy dolphins and unicorns. Yeah.
The whole point here though is just you can't do anything in business without relationships, and building relationships in business can be super cool and fun and sweet. And it's the easiest thing to put off, but it can be one of the most fun things to build.
Dude, I just got a great idea for Blake Fly for your brand. You should make red hats that say the words, make marketing fun again. That's what you should start rocking. It might be off-brand, but I think it would certainly be a great conversation.
Start with a small run of the hats, see how it goes.
Yeah. But make marketing fun again. I mean, I just thought of that line and then I thought of the red hats. But the point is like that's what you're really talking about here is making marketing fun again. It doesn't need to suck your soul out. It doesn't need to be something that you hate. This can be something that can bring so much joy, so much fun to where imagine if your career was actually fun. Imagine if, a lot of speakers go, I love the speaking, but I hate the marketing. But what if the marketing was also fun? Yeah. So I know you got an appointment in 3 minutes. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
2 ways. One way, if people want just more of these little methods and approaches and relationship makers, I made a video series. It's free. It's at instantconnecting.com.
Wonderful.
Practical, simple, straightforward methods, instantconnecting.com. Or you can look me up on Instagram. I'm Blake Fly. Or on the Facebook in this place. I mean, I'm on here right now in this little window, but my full name, Blake Flyshacker. How do you spell that? Doesn't matter. Go to Jake's profile. We're mutual friends. See you on the Facebook.
Go to type in Blake and then you'll find it.
Yeah, if you Google Blake Flyshacker, I'm that guy. Because I'm that guy.
Here's the cool thing about having a name like Flyshacker is only people who really want to contact you do the work to find it. That's what it really comes down to.
And when they do find you, you know it's your sibling. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. We are live every Tuesday right here in the Speakers, Authors, and Coaches Network. You have an amazing, fantastic day. Blake, we got to end this with a virtual fist bump. Here you go. Boom! Love it.
Thanks, Jake.